Hey guys, it's Jordan Visco here from RC Printer, and today we're going to do a build video on this guy, and this is the freestyle FPV 2-inch frame off of Maker World. So this is my first time 3D printing a drone, and it worked really well. I'm super impressed with how well it worked. But I wanted to do one that was very similar to this guy, which is my Mobula 8. And it performs just as well, if not better, than the Mobula 8. The thing I really like about these little 2-inch drones is that they're really great for beginners. They're great to learn to fly on, but honestly, I probably fly this little Mobula 8 more than any of my other drones. Just because it's so much fun, I can fly it around my property and I don't feel like, you know, I'm gonna get into too much trouble breaking stuff or, you know, endangering other people. So they're just like really fun to have around. And these ones have the DJI O4 cameras on them. So I'm getting digital quality video that is HD, and it's super cool to be able to have that quality of video feed in your goggles. So I'm considering doing a little kit for a 3D printed drone like this one, but I just don't know how many of my YouTube followers would be interested in something like that. So if you are, please let me know in the comments below, and we'll definitely take a look at it because it's super fun. It is a little bit more complicated than your standard RC build, just because you have to have a set of goggles, and you also need a special remote. So I have one of these guys, which is a Radiomaster Pocket. And I'd highly recommend this, and I really like the DJI system as well. But it does make it a little bit more expensive, and it's also a little bit more complicated to fly. Something like a boat or a car, really easy to learn, whereas if you're going to learn FPV, it's really best to do it in a simulator. I use a simulator called Liftoff. So yeah, let me know below if you are interested in a kit for something like this. Now you can see here that a couple of my props are a little bit bent up. They were new yesterday, but I've crashed it quite a few times, and I'm happy to say that this frame does hold up. I haven't cracked the frame at all. One thing that I really like about this design over top of this design is that it's much easier to service, whereas this one, all the motors connect through the middle underneath, and you actually have to disconnect all the motors in order to pull everything apart and replace any of the electronics. So it's a giant pain, whereas this one, all the electronics just sit on top of the frame, and then this housing goes over top. So if you pull the housing off, everything just slides off. Weight-wise, it's a little bit heavier than my Mobula 8. So the Mobula 8 without a battery comes in at about 52 grams, and that is with the DJI system. And then this guy without a battery comes in at about 68 grams. So it is a little bit heavier, but because it uses larger motors, it could actually run a larger battery on it. So I might upgrade the battery to a larger one in the future as well. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to the build. This is just a very small 2-inch FPV drone. It's just a series of small parts that get screwed together here with just some M2 screws. You're gonna need a battery. I'm using a 2S LIPO 450 milliamp battery. I have a AIO all-in-one flight controller board that has ELRS on it, and that's it right here. So for motors, we have these Rcinpower 11500 kV 1202.5 little outrunner motors here. We're going to run these Gemfan 2023 propellers that I have for my Mobula 8. I actually decided to upgrade from this little analog camera I was originally going to run, and instead I went for a DJI O4 Lite camera system, which you can see here, which pairs nicely with my DJI Goggles 3. And then, like I said, I'm running on ELRS, so I have this Radiomaster Pocket ELRS that I'm going to use for controlling my flight. I'm going to start with just assembling the frame here so we get a good idea of what we're working with. Alright, so that's the base of the frame there. You can see there's a top and bottom plate, and those get sandwiched together, and your motors mount on top of that. Our AIO flight controller board is going to sit right on top of these 4 screws here. And then we need a canopy cover, which goes on like that, and there are 4 screws that go in on the bottom. So just like that, and then I printed this little TPU cover for the camera, and that is gonna mount right in here. So that's really how simple this thing is. Now we're going to go ahead and start assembling the electronics. All right, so here's my AIO. Now, a lot of times these will have an arrow on them showing you which way is forward. This one does not, but the battery leads, the negative and positive, go at the rear here. You're also going to want to put on a few of these little rubber dampeners. All right, there's all four, and we can install it on our drone. Looking pretty good. Now the AIO does come with a capacitor if you'd like to install it, but on this tiny little drone, I don't think it's going to be necessary. Next, we're going to start putting the motors on, and then we'll cut all the wires to size and make sure they fit properly. All right, the motors each have 4 screw holes, but the frame itself only has 3, so you're only going to be installing 3 screws on each motor. And you want to try and make sure that the motor gets oriented so that the wires are headed towards the pad you're going to solder to. So this one right here is going to go to that pad right there. All right, there's the first motor in place. Now we're going to solder it onto the pads. So we are going to just kind of press these wires against the frame a little bit and have them come up and over to where the pads are. And we're going to snip them right about there. And then we're going to go and remove just maybe 2 millimeters of the insulation on the end of each wire. And then we're going to tin each of those wires. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and put a blob of solder on each of the solder pads. And then we will put the tinned wire on top of each of those blobs, and we will hold the soldering iron to it and press it into place. These motors are bi-directional, so it doesn't matter which motor goes where. We're gonna set that all up in beta flight afterwards. All right, there's our 3 little wires. Add a little bit of liquid flux and a little bit to the board. And our soldering iron is nice and hot. Tin it a bit. One, 2, 3. And then we'll add some blobs to the board. 1, 2, 3. I'll take a pair of needle nose pliers to hold each wire in place. 1, 2, 3, and we can organize our wires a bit nicer, just like that. We're also going to add this little XT30 pigtail that came with the AIO. I think I'm going to go and just hook this up to Betaflight on my computer and just make sure the board is running properly and I can make this motor spin before we move on and do all the rest of them. If I go down to the motors tab here and I check this box that says I understand the risks, I can then activate my motors by moving this slider up. So that gives the motor some power. So all right, there you go. The next thing I'm going to do is add a couple of zip ties down here just to make sure that these never pop up and hit the props. Voila! I had a little bit of trouble trying to get it to connect to my transmitter here. And the main issue is that it does have an onboard ELRS receiver, but it's disabled until you solder these 2 tiny little pads together right here. So you just have to put a blob of solder on there and it connects the 2.
Welcome to HTX.
And then we'll plug in our drone here. So now that it's enabled and all connected, I can arm the drone with this button here and start playing around. So the next thing we have to do is set up video. We've got this DJI O4 Air unit that we're going to install now. It should be pretty plug and play. There's just this little 6-pin connector here, and it goes right into the side of my AIO board there. Alright, there we go. There's our completed little 2-inch drone. I'm pretty happy with how it all looks at the moment. The AIO actually came with this little antenna here for the radio, so I didn't have to buy my own radio antenna. That's all included. The VTX comes with its own antenna as well. Yeah, it should be pretty simple to link this guy to my DJI Goggles, so we'll go and do that now, and then once we have everything confirmed and is working, we'll go ahead and throw on our propellers and take it for a test drive. Alright, so I was unable to get the video to power up, and one thing I missed is that on the very, very bottom of this AIO, there are 2 little pins that you can solder together in order to actually power the VTX. So right now mine is running unpowered until I solder these 2 little pins together. It gives you 2 options. Because I'm just going to be running this on 2S, I'm going to just solder the bat pads together, get that done, and get her back together, and the video should work this time. Alright, we are good to go here. I had to remove one of the wires on the 6-pin connector, the one on the far end opposite the power. So the 6th cable had to come out, and everything should be good to go. So let's plug it in and we'll see how we do. First thing we're going to do is turn on our receiver.
Welcome to HTX.
And we'll turn on our goggles. Just like that. And then we'll power up our drone. We're connected, and the goggles just connected there as well. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, and then when I arm, it should start to record, and so I can show you the video as well. So there you go, all of them are running, and if I move my sticks, disarm. Alright, so we simply press the propellers onto the motor shafts, and here we are the next day with our completed drone, taking it for a flight. And as you can see, it flies pretty well. This is my goggle feed, so this is exactly what you see when you're flying it. Up in the top left of the screen we have our battery cell voltage and radio signal. Bottom left we have our flight time, and on the bottom right we have our data from the DJI VTX system, so goggle battery life, frame rate, and the VTX voltage. One thing to note is that the DJI O4 video system can record onboard footage as well. And on this drone it works great if you turn off stabilization, but if DJI's stabilization is on, I do get a strange warbling or jello shaking effect, which I think is due to the frame resonance because I've ruled most other things out. If you turn off the DJI stabilization and stabilize the video in post with a program on your PC called GyroFlow, which is what I mostly use for my drone videos, the jello issue is completely gone. So it's just an issue with the DJI onboard stabilization. I think I can fix it by printing the frame in a different filament than PLA, which is what I did this first frame on. So I'm going to be testing that out in carbon fiber PA6 nylon right now, which is a lot stiffer, but I don't have an answer for that yet. But that one bug doesn't really bother me at this point. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video on 3D printing this 2-inch FPV freestyle frame. If you did, please give us a like or subscribe, it really helps me out. And as always, if you're looking for cool ideas of 3D printed projects like this one to build, kits, parts, or instructions on how to build them, make sure you check us out at rcprinter.com. Till next time.